Hi, Mark here. It is Wednesday, March the 18th, going on 8 a.m. Eastern, going on noon GMT. US session now underway and into the afternoon portion of the European session. Let's have a look how the markets shaped up this morning. US dollar index again on the back foot, very small, but all the same, a red candlestick, lower highs, lower lows. This is the third consecutive day of US dollar weakness. Even the EMAs have just barely crossed to the downside. I've got support at 99.20, a little lower than yesterday. I've got resistance at 99.48. We'll see how that plays out now during the US session. If sellers add to what we've seen the last 2 days, and US dollar index continues to be sold off, data-wise, PPI numbers out of the US coming out within the hour. Today, we also have interest rate decisions coming out of Canada, coming out of the US. Across the board, expected to see rates being held, but of course, always wait to hear the accompanying statements and giving us an indication of what lies ahead. And that certainly can and will, I believe, have an effect on the market. US dollar sellers looking to test this level, looking to continue what we've seen with the US dollar being sold off. US dollar strengthened significantly since the start of the Middle East conflict. And now we are seeing a turnaround. We'll see whether this is just a retracement and continues a little while further, or if buyers do step in and look back up to that 100 level. But certainly for now, US dollar on the back foot. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. Inverse relationship, demand for US equities continuing for the third day. I've got support at 6,765. I've got resistance at 6,814. That 6,800 level has been tested, given up a little bit since then. In the futures market, we'll see once US market open and once Wall Street opens up in about an hour and a half, whether we see a continued demand for US equities and buyers can get back up at that 6,800 level. Let's have a look at gold. Strong sell-off continuing in gold. I've got support at 4,925. I've got resistance at 5,019, but certainly at this point, no demand for the safe haven commodity that is gold and is being sold off. Sellers will be looking at the next downside target, which is 4,900. We'll see if it gets to that level or if buyers do step in before there and look back up to regain the 5,000 level. But certainly weaker gold continuing and interestingly going hand in hand with weak US dollar, not the traditional inverse relationship between the two. Let's have a look at Brent oil. And there you see uptrend still very much in place, has leveled off a little over that once that 100 level, $100 barrel level. Looks pretty comfortable sitting just above there. I've got 140 as my support, 105.23 resistance. Buyers will look to test this level again, perhaps break above this level. We'll see will depend on the fundamentals, the reality of what's going on in the region. Any new developments, rhetoric, and physical action certainly all have an effect on the price for now. But as I say, has stabilized that little bit within this 100 to 105 range for now. Uptrend, bias, all tilted to the upside, and I think that's where the risk remains for now. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, after a strong run and consecutive higher highs, higher lows, strong run 2 days ago to start the week, gave up some of those gains yesterday and being sold off again today. I've got support at 72.7. I've got resistance at 74.7. Narrow range for now. We'll see where the buyers can step in at this around the 72,000 and continue with the uptrend, bounce up off the support, look back up above the 74, 75,000 and continue with this uptrend. Or if we're going to see the sell-off continue, like we saw yesterday and certainly continuing today, having erased all of Monday's gains and push below the 72 area and back down to the 70,000 on the downside. Good trading. Keep that discipline. I'll see you at the end of day.